The ABC 7 News I-Team has learned that restaurants around the Bay Area are quietly serving a food that's banned in California. Foie gras, that's the fatty liver of a duck that's been force-fed.
It's their way of protesting a law that took effect last year after the I-Team exposed the process at the state's only foie gras farm. And Dan Noyes is back now with a new undercover investigation.
Well, Carolyn, Dan, that farm is now closed because the law makes it illegal to force-feed ducks for foie gras in California. But it also prohibits the sale of foie gras. So when the tip came in that restaurants are still selling it and apparently breaking the law, we went undercover. Now, you should know this story does include pictures of force-feeding.
The tip that came to the I-Team said, order the poached pear and you'll get foie gras at La Folie, one of the highest rated restaurants in San Francisco. We sent in 2 producers, and before they could even ask, the server made an offer.
She said our very last special is a secret, but this much I can tell you about it. It's a traditional French dish and one of our chef's signature dishes.
The secret chef special. She wouldn't tell us the main ingredient, but when we placed our order, she slipped.
So she goes 3 courses with the special foie, and she catches herself and laughs and says, the huckleberry.
The chef's special arrived. There it was, foie gras, the fatty liver of a duck that's been force-fed, banned in California since July 1st of last year.
I asked her, why is it a secret dish? And she said, because of California law.
A series of I-Team reports 10 years ago led to California's ban on foie gras. We showed video shot by activists at the state's only foie gras farm near Stockton of the force-feeding process. At least 3 times a day, a worker grabbed each duck, shoved a long, thick metal pole down its throat, and an air pump shot up to a pound of corn into the duck. The process continued for 3 weeks until the liver expanded more than 10 times its normal size.
We really didn't know that as we walked in, we were going to encounter sick birds, dead birds, birds with open festering wounds.
In addition to the dead and dying ducks, activists found others whose livers were so large that they couldn't move, couldn't defend themselves against rats that were eating them alive. The law made changes to the California Health and Safety Code. It now says a person may not force-feed a bird for the purpose of enlarging the bird's liver beyond normal size. A product may not be sold in California if it is the result of force-feeding a bird for the purpose of enlarging the bird's liver beyond normal size. And it sets a fine up to $1,000 for each violation. La Folie's owner, Chef Roland Passot, told our producers that he and a group of chefs are working to overturn the ban.
The chef told me I'm definitely on board with fighting it, but, it's going to take a while, I think.
When I contacted Chef Passot and told him what we found at his restaurant, he agreed to an interview, even set a time and place, but then backed out, citing a scheduling conflict.
By phone, Passot told me he knows he's breaking the law, but foie gras is an important part of French culture and cuisine, and that it can be produced humanely.
No question there have been changes in the industry since our first reports. La Folie now gets its duck liver from Hudson Valley Foie Gras in New York through a distributor in Nevada. In 2003, we showed how Hudson Valley used isolation cages. The ducks couldn't move during the weeks of force feeding. Those cages are now gone, and workers there use a gentler process with a gravity device instead of the California farm's old pneumatic pump. Chef Passot told our producers how he sells Hudson Valley Foie Gras by using code words.
The chef said, we choose to call it different. It was the golden apple when it was apple season. Now it's the ambrosia. Soon it will be the cherry jubilee because it will be cherry season.
God forbid I should actually want cherries jubilee at this restaurant, right? Might accidentally get foie gras.
John Malia is the lawyer for the Animal Legal Defense Fund that's suing Chef Ken Frank of La Toque in Napa, not for selling foie gras, but for giving it away. The lawsuit says the activists sent in an undercover investigator who received foie gras on 3 different occasions.
The way it worked was that he would not have received the foie gras had he not paid for this expensive meal. Nonetheless, it was framed and described as a gift from the chef.
Chef Frank says this is his personal Boston Tea Party, that he's working a loophole in the law as a form of protest.
We serve it to customers that purchase our most expensive menu, our least expensive menu. We serve it to customers that purchase nothing at all, that just stop by the bar to say hi and encourage my efforts.
The activists couldn't get Napa police to cite Chef Frank for selling foie gras. In fact, we could not find a single instance of law enforcement coming down on the restaurant throughout the state.
How many tickets have you written for foie gras?
0.
In San Francisco, foie gras enforcement falls to Animal Care and Control. They say it costs too much to send investigators into high-priced restaurants with the possibility of finding a foie gras infraction. We showed them what we found at La Folie.
We will send an officer out there and they will be cited.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. These people ordered this dish. It was served. They paid for it. And that's a direct violation of the law as it's written.
And I'll keep track of what happens. Hundreds of restaurants stopped selling foie gras when the ban took effect, but the authorities aren't doing much to enforce it. So lawsuits from the activists are the only real threat these chefs face. They are now looking for a lawmaker to carry a bill to alter the ban to approve the sale of humanely produced foie gras, as they call it. The activists would say it's not humane at all. Thank you.
All right, Dan, thank you.